Do you want to bring in our guest-ish type person, Scott Sikora?
Yes. So, okay, just to preface this, our guest tonight, Kyle Waller, has a show. It's the S.H.A.P.E podcast. It's sharing hope and positivity with everyone, everywhere, each and every day.
That's pretty good.
But Aaron's going to be a guest on the show this Friday, so we want you guys to all tune in. It'll be up on Talking Beards, I believe. But yeah, go over and check it out. We would love for you to support this show, and plus we want to find out about Aaron. What do you think you're going to talk about?
I have no idea. So we kind of talked about it very briefly, but he said he's going to try to get into
your pants. Bring them in. Here he is.
Oh my! You're getting into my pants, Kyle Waller.
This verbally probably, but no.
Breaking news.
Breaking news. Aaron does not wear pants.
Nope, I'm not wearing pants right now.
And I wanted to fit in, so I got my C hat on. Okay, because yeah, look, he's like, oh, hold on a moment, where's my C hat?
Where's my C hat? Yeah,
my C hat.
Yeah.
So tonight, for all of you who don't know, right now Cincinnati is playing Cleveland in baseball. Again,
just so you know, Cleveland rocks. So you know.
So what's the score right now, Kyle?
8-7 in the bottom of the fifth. The good guys, meaning the Reds, are up 8-7.
All right,
looking good.
So you guys were kind of briefly talking about it a little bit before the show. Do you have any? I mean, I've really enjoyed some of your drinking stories. I mean, not that they're like enjoyable, but it was very insightful, like to hear about Aaron when he was back in his drinking days. And I was just like, dude, how did you even survive moments like these? Like, I mean, and I met him after he was sober. So my
thing is, I'm going to dive into the Aaron Johnston that not many people know about. Okay. I mean, everybody knows about Aaron Johnston and Honest Amish, and everybody knows, he has a love for mini trucking, but like, I want to dive into the Aaron Johnston that most people don't know about, and heck, I don't really know about, but I'm going to find out with everybody else.
Aaron Johnston, the donut.
I'm super excited I'm super excited to have a conversation on one of these podcasty things and not just be it all about beards. We're going to dive into, my childhood, maybe. I don't know what got me going, my life before Natalie. That's crazy stuff. I've been with her for 15 years. So that's pretty much most of my life, but there was a time.
That's a lot of years. That's a lot of years to put up with you.
We call it be before Natalie. Yeah. Yeah. It'll be wild. It'll be a good time.
It will be. Yeah.
Yeah. What time is that, Kyle Waller, on Friday?
So it'll be 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You'll be able to find it on Talking Beards Network, and you'll be able to find it on S.H.A.P.E the podcast. You'll be able to find it over there as well. And and then and talking with some friends and my wife, I have some breaking news on that regards. Yes. So
right now,
I mean, I'll go ahead and tell it right now.
Yeah. Okay, do it. I took him out.
I thought I did something. We don't have a breaking news thing. Dadgummit.
All right,
we had a breaking news.
All right, so
go.
With me, it's easier for me to talk to guys about whatever they're going through, but with some people, especially women, it's hard for women to talk about sensitive subjects with guys. So there will be some episodes where I will have a special guest host, and that special guest host will be my wife. So yes,
breaking news.
Yeah. So if you're an awesome woman out there who wants to come on my podcast and talk about your ups and downs of your life, and you feel comfortable with talking to a woman, then my wife will be there. And yes,
Melissa needs some help.
She does. Melissa says, "LOL, oops,
she done effed up."
Done did effed up. Yeah, her car's in Illinois still. Did y'all know that? Remember when she left Nashville? and then she went and started driving to Utah, and then she got to Illinois. Yeah, we hung out with her in LA this weekend with her daughter that loves me so much. And
nice.
Her car is still in Illinois. That sucks.
God bless her. But yeah, so it's gonna be awesome to have my wife be involved on that, and on those nights I'll be in the background. I actually won't be a part of it that night.
Okay.
But yeah, I just figured that I want to have a more diverse podcast, and so why not have my wife, be the guest host for that night.
Hey, man, makes sense. If you want to have woman-on-woman conversations, then that's going to be the way to do it, because your wife's a woman, so that fits that bill. So that's pretty cool. I like that idea. I like that a whole lot.
Appreciate it. And then I'm gonna have Scott Sikora back on here probably in about a month or two, because he's gonna be interviewing me about my story. So.
Ooh. Kyle Waller's going to get interviewed on his own podcast.
Yep.
I like this idea.
So Scott will be the host that night, and I'll be the guest.
I think I did that with you, Aaron, on one show where I did. I think we kind of interviewed each other one time.
We did. We back in the day, we definitely did do that. Dude, that was probably 200 episodes ago. But yeah, we did do an episode that I kind of interviewed Scott, and he got into the drums and his music career and all that, and then we probably just talked about beards and stuff with me. We probably didn't even really get into where I was born and what I did on the second day of kindergarten and stuff like that. Like, we're going to get into on the S.H.A.P.E podcast. It's going to be probably like a 12-hour episode. We'll probably go through, my day-to-day of, third grade. Mostly. That's really the things that people really want to know about me, is like what I was doing in third grade.
And really,
what was I up to?
In all reality, and this is a great segue for me to go ahead and just drop this. So from now on until Natalie gets her kidney, every podcast at the beginning and at the end, I'm going to put out there, let's help out Natalie Johnson and get her kidney. Go over to the Augusta Health website, be a kidney donor. Let's help her out.
Thank you very much, Kyle Waller.
Yeah. So that will be mentioned on the podcast as well, every before and at the end of the episode. So,
and then we've got this crazy thing going on too. I should have brought that graphic up. Maybe I'll try to pop it up for the end of the show. Jeff Harris,
trying to find it.
Yes,
bald chicken,
trying to go bald.
Got to go bald. So yeah, what is it? Raising was it $2,000, Kyle? Do you remember?
Yes, $2K.
$2,000
for Jeff just to be a mustache.
Yeah. So Jeff Harris, chicken wing. He's going to try to raise $2,000 before the Central Texas Beard and Mustache competition coming up on October 14th, I think is the right date. Yeah, me and Scott will be there emceeing that one, and segue breaking news announcement type stuff. We'll have the Bougies on the show next week talking about this
there you go.
very own competition. And yeah, man.
Baby Bougie's going to be back on the show.
The Bougies. Mr. and Mrs. Bougie.
They're always good.
There's another group of guys that is doing the same thing, but they're doing it for S.H.A.P.E for prostate. That is Angie Jones's lovely boyfriend, and a couple other guys are shaving for prostate, but they want to shave into the worst group ever.
Just because
chops.
Ron Rice looks pretty good with chops.
He does
not give everyone the right to have chops. Like, let's not start this. Come on now. Just because one person looks pretty decent, doesn't mean everybody else is going to look pretty decent. Most people are going to look ridiculous.
I agree.
Ron Rice got super lucky. Apparently, he's got the right face for it. It worked for him, but it's not going to look good for everybody. There's no way. But hey, they're raising money for a good cause. They're raising money for prostate cancer, and and this one is also raising money for prostate cancer. Look at this. This is from our episode last week. I've got all the link and stuff in our show notes from this week as well. So go up there and give that one a shot. But all about prostate cancer.
Great episode last week, by the way.
Thanks.
Like, hands down, fantastic. the knowledge that was made aware on that episode, crazy.
The cool thing about last week's episode is we could have hit play or record an hour before the episode even started. Go ahead.
I had to keep telling her, I'm like, we got to save something for the show. We get like that sometime with guests where it's just like, okay, I don't, let's just stop talking now because this is like, this is the stuff people want to hear.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We could have just hit live from the moment that Sean and Paul got into the room. But yeah, that could have been a 2-hour episode. There was, even before the episode, there was so much information given. Sean talked about intercourse, and I thought she was going to get to it on the show, and we never really got to it. And I thought this was last week was going to be the first time that intercourse was brought up on Talking Beards. But guess what? Episode 308, Scott Sikora, intercourse. I was looking forward to it last week, and it just never happened. So
I forgot too, because like I said, we talked about so much stuff before the show, and it's like I literally feel like we got to like 10% of everything that we kind of talked about.
Well, you know what that means? That means you just have to have them both back on at a future date.
Could. Sean was an amazing guest. We've been really good texting friends for a couple months now, and
health matters, everybody. You know, doesn't matter if you're afraid to go get something looked at. Do it. You know, along the lines with mental health too. Just do it. You know, to take care of yourself.
Breaking news: $4,000 and Jeff Harris won't shave.
Huh.
So anyway,
there you go. $4,000. Jeff Harris will not shave.
So
speaking of the guy that's going chops, right there, Jacked Up Leatherworks.
Jacked Up Leatherworks is the one that's going chops as well.
He is.
Oh my gosh, this is devastating. Anyway, so let's get off of this terrible topic of people going chops.
Terrible.
We kind of talked a little bit before the show, and we were going to try to see if we could come up with a topic so we could just BS about stuff and, just talk. And we don't necessarily have to be about a beard competition or anything like that. Let's just have, like we put in the thing, a good old-fashioned hangout episode. So that's what we're going to do. We're just going to hang out and see what happens tonight. Kyle Waller, what did you bring to the table for this incredibly awesome
Of course,
episode?
You would have to start out with my topic. I was going to have Scott start with his. But, yeah, my topic is non-beard related. It's something my wife actually brought to my attention. So, back in high school, they gave those what they call superlatives,
Okay.
like. So, my question to
best dressed and stuff, like those things?
Yep.
Okay.
So, my question to the bearding community that's watching right now.
Everybody in the chat, listen up.
Yes, because I want the chat to also be a part of this. Is what would your superlative be? Like let's say, or what was your superlative if you got one back in high school?
Okay.
I did not get a superlative because I really didn't fit into that mold. I mean, I was quiet, which I'm not now. I was a band guy. I got picked on a lot, so I really didn't get that. But I would say now, as an adult, my superlative would be most likely to change, because I'm not who I was, and thank God I'm not that person. So,
right.
What about you guys?
That's a good thing. I mean, you're all supposed to grow up from high school. That's usually what you're supposed to do, but some people don't. Some people just don't. And Jason Berger says, Kyle F.M. Waller, love this guy. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Jason Berger.
Had a great conversation with Jason Berger prior to the show. So, what about you guys? What would your superlatives be?
Did you have a superlative in high school, Scott Sikora? Were you popular enough to get elected one of those?
Yeah, I got a few of them.
You're so free. I knew it. I knew you were Mr. Popular in school.
I was the furthest thing from popular. I was definitely not voted most artistic.
Yeah.
But going to this question right here with what Chris says, what did you play in band? I got voted best musician in my senior class.
Okay.
That was after.
After what?
after I got kicked out of band.
So you got kicked out of band?
I did. I got removed from. Yeah, it's a long story.
They couldn't handle your skills. That's what it was.
Sure, that sounds great.
Melissa
and to
Parkinson
answer-
was most likely to end up
Chris's-
as a cop or military police.
There you go. Well, to answer Chris's question, I played trombone in high school band. So
Nice.
Yeah.
I don't think I was elected any superlative thing. I'm really trying to think. I should have just went and got my senior yearbook, but I don't think I did. I'm pretty confident I did not get elected anything. Class clown would have been pretty cool, but
I wasn't that one too.
Yeah, but my class clownness was mostly just clothes related because I would always wear the craziest clothes I could possibly wear to school. So I could try to not get in trouble, but maybe get in trouble. Like me and my buddies would all go to like a St. Vincent de Paul on the weekends, and nothing was over $2 in this whole place. Like it was super cheap. So we would go in there and get mismatched plaid suits and crap like that and wear them to school and just, craziness like that. But that was what I wanted. I wanted to get class clown, but I wasn't really a class clown. I just kind of dressed crazy.
If you both went back now, let's say you got a superlative as an adult, what would it be? I know this is hard.
Most likely to I don't know, something. That's a stumper right there. If I went back to school right now, I think I would definitely change.
Most likely to hug a Christmas tree.
I would be most likely to hug a Christmas tree,
and not just hug a Little Debbie Christmas tree, but miss out on the Little Debbie.
Shut up, Kyle Waller.
And then this would be me, the most likely to be crabby all the time.
Yep, that's what I was about to click on. I was on it. Most likely to be a crab, Scott Sikora, and obviously most likely to be in 2017.
Yes.
So, I don't know. What about you, Kyle Waller?
Most likely to change.
Yeah, it would be most likely to change.
What about you, Scott Sikora?
If I got one now,
what would your new thing be?
Yeah,
I would be most likely to put most miles on my car.
That is true. That's probably true right there.
Mike Baker. Yeah. I mean, even in high school, it was the same way, man. I don't know what happened in my head and why this was just the thing, but I was always the first person in the mornings cruising town, and I was the last one to stop cruising before school. And dadgummit, it was the same way after school. I was one of the first ones in town, cruising around Dairy Queen, cruising around the square and back again. And I was one of the last ones to quit every day. I don't know what is wrong with me.
Brad just said that somebody would be most likely to be eaten by a bear. Are you talking about yourself, Brad? Or are you talking about Scott or Aaron or myself?
You.
What are you talking about?
Kyle Waller, most likely to be eaten by a bear for sure.
Well, I mean, I mean, I'll stick behind Brad. I mean, we got the northern latitude line of the Tigers and the Guardians are way above the Cincinnati. What are you guys called now?
They're a crayon.
Well, there's the Cincinnati Reds, but I'm not a Bengals fan, so you can't put me into that category.
Who day?
My wife's a Browns fan, if that makes you happy.
They're going to the Super Bowl.
But I'm a Tennessee Titans fan, and we won't talk about that.
Yeah, Roll Tide.
There you go.
Heck yeah. Roll Tide, baby.
Foosball's the devil. All right. But, yeah, so Jason Berger said that would be most likely to be a WWF superstar.
That's what I wanted to do when I was in high school.
Yeah.
I legit wanted to be a professional wrestler. I jumped off everything around my house and elbow dropped everything. Me and my buddies had a fake belt. That was I told my mom that's what I was going to do. I had a whole plan in my head and everything. And I did.
You had a plant in your head?
A plan to be a professional wrestler. I was going to do it. I was going to go to wrestling school and everything. But instead I went and played with radiation for 20 years instead.
At a nuclear
plant.
So
that's what happened.
Yeah, I was like, I'm just going to go play with radiation and go make money. See ya. And that's what I went and did.
Hook 'em horns.
Yeah, hooker horns.
Hooker horns.
Yeah, like this.
What? I don't. Whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
So yeah, Brad said he was talking about himself because he said, that's how he wanted to go out, was be ate by a bear.
Okay. Speaking of, there was a bear in Disney World. Did y'all know that?
Yeah, it's called Winnie the Pooh, idiot.
No, like a legit bear got in the park this last
Country
week.
bear?
They had to get it out of the park and set it free. I don't know how the heck a bear ends up inside Disney World. But
at least they didn't shoot it like they did Harambe.
Oh, freaking Harambe. Wow, too soon, Kyle Waller.
Dylan, Aaron used to be a nuclear physicist.
Yes.
Yeah, listen to episode 48 of Talking Beards, and you will hear what I did for a living. But yeah, I retired from a nuclear power plant.
Or listen to Shape the podcast Friday night, and you'll hear it again.
Maybe, or we won't get there. I'm going to be stuck on what I ate for lunch in 4th grade. That's the type of things that you're going to be getting on the Shape podcast on Friday.
Peanut butter and jelly Uncrustables.
They didn't have Uncrustables yet. It was just regular peanut butter and jelly. There.
With the carton and milk. Thank you very much.
What do you got, Scott Sikora? What is your topic of conversation for tonight?
Well, as I was kind of just scrolling through everything tonight, I kind of popped up with this article, and it's something that I've known about and worked with over the years, but I thought this story was interesting. Live Nation, which is one of the biggest concert promoters in the world, ends artist merchandise cuts at clubs around the country. Now, Aaron didn't seem to be very excited about this story.
It wasn't that I was not excited about it. It was just that I didn't understand what was going on with said topic. But you're very passionate about this. So tell us why this is passionate to you, Scott Sikora.
Well, it's a lot of it has to do with what artists are bringing in anymore these days. And, music artists don't make money off their record deals. They don't make money off of selling records. They just, there's no income for them other than when they play live shows. And if they're just a small little band touring around, their expenses are minuscule, but they're not making a lot. But then once you start getting up into these bigger national bands, their bills are close to $500,000-$600,000 a night. And that's a lot of that money isn't like, oh, well, there's 4 guys in the band, each guy's getting $100,000 a night. That's not how it works. There's a crew of probably 50 guys that are traveling around with like 3 or 4 semi trucks and 2 or 3 tour buses and a whole like moving city. And it's like these things just cost astronomical amounts of money. The production costs are just ridiculous. But one of the things that a lot of like venues and bigger clubs, and everyone's seen this, but they might not know why. But when you go to a show, like one of your favorite bands' shirts are like $50 or $60. And
yeah, I've always wondered why they were just astronomically expensive at concerts. I just assumed because that, supply and demand, these are only shirts you can buy, but apparently there's more to it.
Yeah. And I mean, someone who's paying already, I don't know how much for a ticket to get into an event, and then another like $50 or $60 on a t-shirt. And it's like, it's just so much money that, and people don't have the money right now. But to the gist of the story, Live Nation's taken away. Usually the way it works is when a band comes into town, the venue that they play at gets a cut of their merch. Sometimes 10%, 15%. I've seen 20. And so at the end of the night, the club and the bands have to settle up, and the club will automatically get their cut out of whatever merch was sold. And it's just it's been an industry standard forever. And Aaron,
why exactly do they do that? Is that part of like paying the venue for the stage type thing?
No, it's like an extra kicker for the club.
So in these situations, do the bands generally pay for Like, do they kind of rent the stage type thing, and they're giving some cut to the bar, or is that not the way that works usually?
I think that's just a way for the venue to be like, all right, so we're profit. Not only are we going to profit off of this, but we're going to profit off of this, just like they are with ticket sales. Okay, I'm sure those of you out there who probably know who that new singer Oliver Anthony is.
Of them, yeah.
So he is really big now into trying to cut out the stuff with the venues charging so much money. Mm-hmm. Like, so he won't play a venue that is going to charge you 60, 70, 80 bucks to go see a concert. He'll only do his concerts for like 25, 30 bucks across the board. So, like, what do you think about that? Like, all these concerts that going to charging astronomical fees, like, do you agree or not agree with that whole subject?
I hate it. I hate bands are charging. I mean, like, for instance, when we went to, when I wasn't here that night because I was playing.
You were fired.
Yeah, you were fired. That's when I'm fired. We all know that.
But like, we were like 5 rows from the top, and our tickets were still like $150, and like that's just absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah. That was like us when we went to Blink-182. We were way up there, and they were definitely 3 digits for sure.
Yeah, and it's just like Chris Count says, gone are the $12 concerts for the 80s. I mean,
man, that's way true. Gone. Way gone for sure.
But yeah, no, I'm not a big fan. I like those, like, one of my favorite bands, Machine Head, has done kind of exactly what you said. It's like they go out and it's like, it's just us, $20 flat. That's it. Everyone gets in for $20. They sell out almost every time, and then they play for like 4 hours. So they're giving people their money's worth, and they have a pretty intense production too. But I mean, they put on a show, but they keep it cost effective for their fans. Granted, then the merch prices are a lot higher up there, so it kind of offsets. But yeah, for these bands to be able to keep 100% of their merch sales at venues is like gonna save so many bands.
So what's going to happen out of this? Is this actually happening, or is it just something that they're talking about doing, or what?
Well, I mean, according to what Blabbermouth says, it's something that they're starting immediately.
So if you're a Live Nation ticket concert, the bar or whatever won't get cut from the shirts anymore.
If you're a band and you play at a Live Nation venue, then I mean, hopefully the t-shirt sales will go down. Let's put it that way.
See, that'll be the thing. They won't go down.
No, they'll still be the same.
100%.
Yeah.
But people won't even know any difference. This is a behind-the-scenes thing. Yeah. Everyone's already buying the $50 t-shirt, so they're not going to make it $40 now.
Yeah. No, I mean, some bands might, but like out of that $50, like the band's going to get at like, say for instance, they're selling them out of their house. They're selling them for $30. Yeah. And then when they go to these venues, they're selling them for $50. So yeah, would you continue selling them for that higher inflated amount?
It's better for the small guys, for the small bands. The big bands that do all the national tours that charge that much. Heck no. But yeah, I'll support a small venue guy any day of the week. I mean, yes, I am going to see Tyler Childers in December, and I paid $300 for 4 seats for a pair, but 2 seats, $300. So, but still, again, that's one of those where it's like, I know half that percent just went to the venue for fees alone. Mm-hmm. It's just crazy. It's astronomical.
Everybody's just out to make money, and that's what the name of the game is. But just the whole the price of everything and everything's just super crazy. And I don't know if we're ever going to go back to normal. I think this is just the new normal, as they say. Well, everything's just expensive as crap.
We actually saw that with Maryland, Delaware, the Mad Viking beard competition. The venue wanted to charge so much money that Maryland, Delaware is like, nope, we're not going to do it. We're switching the venue. Mm-hmm. We're going to bring down the ticket prices a little bit. And it was a relatively large venue, but it's simply because it was owned by a bigger, company, to where the company was like, well, we want this amount of cut.
Yeah, we don't care. It's a charity fundraising thing. We're going to charge the crap out of you.
But some of that is because of like just production costs. Like
exactly. I mean, it's just that's like you said, it's a bigger venue, so they're going to have more people for lights.
And another behind the scenes thing about events, like when you go into like say your favorite venue, like your big size, like we'll say 1,500 to 2,500 plus room, the larger one where you'd see like most of the touring bands, and they have these pretty intricate sound systems. The clubs don't own those; they lease those. They rent those, like, and that's so they can have the latest and newest technology always coming through, because those big rigs are just so much money.
Yep.
So, I mean, it's just like trying to budget your own thing at home, where it's like, yeah, my electric bill is this much, I need to bring it in. So it's like, all right, we need to sell a ticket price that's going to cover this, and this, all broken down into 100 small little things.
Yeah.
That you don't think about.
Yeah, because everybody's got to get paid, and they're all getting paid off of that one ticket. So
yeah. And that's why
people taking bites of it, so the ticket price goes up.
Which this brings up another great subject. If you're a club and you want to host a beard competition, all right, do your research about wherever you want to host it, and if they have those astronomically high prices that they want to charge you for tickets, then talk about it amongst your members and vote on it. And if it's something that you guys feel comfortable with, by all means, but don't shoot yourself in the foot that way, So do your research. If you can get the venue for free, or you have that relationship like the beer brands do, their venue, donate it every single year.
That's awesome, and that's the way it should be, especially in this new age of beard competition stuff being just strictly charity fundraisers and not a beard party like it was 10 years ago. They shouldn't have to, or it should just be cheaper. But
I totally agree.
Essentially, this is a charity fundraiser. Why are you charging to raise money for a charity?
Also, make sure when you're planning these events, make sure that there's not another event like that's next door in the same building that might distract some from the event that you're putting on. I mean, just common sense would be
And for the Honest Amish presents Detroit's 8th annual Circus.
There you go.
We only pay for the sound guy. So
that's
there you go. And then Melissa says, when the Unknown Beardsmen were together, the Ice House charged nothing and gifted raffles. And that's the way it should be.
That's the way it should be. Yeah.
And that's a perfect situation. You find a venue that wants everybody there.
Yep.
And yeah, you've got to do some work to get these venues. You're not just going to show up at maybe you need to put in some work with that venue and maybe help them out with a couple of their events, and then develop a relationship, and then your beard club has a home, and then you can just have an event space that
and plus they know that the people that run these venues know that they're gonna get the alcohol sales. Right? Even though now the new thing seems to be a whole lot more people are enjoying the competitions without drinking, but the venues know that they're going to get the sales from the alcohol coming in. So yeah, just make sure that one, you're putting on a competition, make sure that the venue's right, number one, and to hold the right amount of people, and B, make sure they're not going to charge you astronomical. Like really let them know that you're 100% charity based, and you don't see any profit from it whatsoever. Everything you get goes out the window. So.
Yeah, and they'll I mean, especially if your club's a 501c3, like and you work that out with the venue at the beginning, like they can set all the paperwork up for you, so it's just it makes it a seamless, smooth transition, because they do a lot of those venues will do events like that throughout the year, so they have an expertise. They know how they know how to staff events, even if it's like we've never done a beard competition here before. But they know
they've done events.
They've done events. So we know we're going to need at least 6 bartenders, or a couple sound guys. They know what it is. So
and Yeah, and with all that being said, it kind of leads into my question or topic or whatever, because
why are smash burgers so
before the show we didn't really talk about what these topics were going to be, so I just assumed it was beard competition related topics, so that's where my head went. Obviously, it was not where everybody else's head went, but that's fine. So we were talking about charities and the venues and stuff like that. So maybe this is something that we need to really discuss. Is proper ways to pay your charity. Like these are all
check.
These are charity fundraising events. And maybe that's just something that people don't think about. They're like, okay, we did it. We raised money for, Mike's charity. And then here's some money, Mike's charity. Well, I mean, there's ways to go about this. Like, you should want the charity involved with your event. So that would be a conversation. You need to sit down with the charity and, hey, we're throwing this event. Let them know that you're throwing.
Be there. Be there.
Like, invite them to come out. Maybe, have them put up a table. Talk to them about their social media stuff. If these charities have an Instagram and Facebook, they probably would want to advertise that there's a beer competition raising money for them to help get more money for themselves. So, develop a relationship with your charity and try to get them involved. Some charities don't want to be involved. And I've been on, and I get that. Not all charity is interested, but man, when we pay these charities, that's important. We're taking money from the beard people or the communities and we're giving it to the charity. Well, you need some like accountability there. You don't just put a bunch of money in an envelope and then take it to the post office and just mail it off and just hope it's going to get there. Like, if it doesn't get there, then what? Then you look bad. And then it brings in your character and your whole club's character and stuff like that. You've got to, you can't do that. You've got to, in hand or like have the paperwork, but moving forward, checks like
cashier's checks.
Checks. You can do anything. You can take, or just a regular check and take some pictures of it and
go to the bank.
Yeah, go to the bank. Get proof that you're doing this. And it's not always just so you can be like, oh, check out what our club did. We took a big picture with a big check. That's an accountability thing.
Yes.
Like, if you're taking a picture with this big check that says $2,000 or whatever, it says, so-and-so charity, and you've taken a picture, you've put it on Facebook, that's proven to everybody, like, this, here we go. So nobody can ever say, you know what, that's weird. They did raise money for them, but did they give them the money?
Yes.
There has to be an accountability thing. And that's like a professional deal. Like, we're throwing these professional
and
beard competitions for charity. So you need to act professional. And part of that is proper paperwork, a paper trail, accountability, proving to everyone that you paid said charity, and just
and if you
documentation. Exactly.
If you send the money in, to the charity, the charity should know who you are already. Don't try to hide who you are, if that makes sense.
Yeah, man. You don't have to donate stuff anonymously or what. No. Like, you don't want to do that, especially if you're a beard club trying to get your name out there and be like, you want to be proud of what you're doing. You want everyone to see that you're raising this money for selected charity and stuff. So, man, everybody, you just got to tighten up. If you're dealing with money in the beard community and you're raising money for charity, that money needs to go to the charity. And if you're not doing that, if you're not wanting to give the money to the charity, then you're in this for the wrong reason and you need to excuse yourself.
Yeah. So, and like you said, have a charity there. So on March the 2nd, when Honest Amish and White Oak Beard Supply present the Cyan Tattoo Invitational Beard and Mustache Championships, Flock, which is for the love of children, they are going to have a representative at the charity or at the event. And then at the end of the event, when all the money's tallied, guess what? I'm going to make sure it gets handled over to them. Because you don't want questions to arise
if you can. Like, why would you even want to take that crap back to your house? I don't like when we throw an event, we're counting money that night. So maybe like the next morning we can give it to them because I don't want it. I don't want to hang on to it. I want to get it to the charity, you know?
Yes.
I don't want something to happen to, you know, like, okay, I have all the money right here on the counter and someone freaking broke into my house. You know what I mean? And that's the first thing they grab. Well, did they really break into your house?
Or
you know what I mean? Then,
have somebody that can hold you accountable.
Mm-hmm. Well, you got to hold yourself accountable.
Yes. Yeah, you got to hold yourself, but you know, if you're doing it with a group, if you're putting on a beard competition, and trust me, it's hard because I'm in the midst of getting one together, and thank God I have people to help me out. Don't be ashamed to ask people for help.
Everybody's here to help each other.
Yes.
Everybody that's listening to this right now, you know my social media. Facebook Messenger is super easy to get a hold of.
Dylan wants to know who he can talk to become part of a club. Well, it's just do research on Facebook of where you live at. You know,
where do you live at, Dylan?
There are clubs all over.
Yes. And it's publicity for both parties, both the image of the community and the marketing for the charity. Yes.
And,
I mean, absolutely.
And that goes over to Russ's question here, where he says, why wouldn't the charity want to be involved with raising money?
I agree. Why would a charity turn it down? Of course they're not going to.
It could be as simple as they just don't have the extra people. It could
That's true.
A lot of these charities, I mean, it's just people that are volunteering. Maybe they, you know, they just don't have time. And it could really simply be that, like, they only got a couple full-time employees and they're somewhere else that day. But it doesn't hurt to ask.
No, another reason, and we've run into this before, is and this was years ago, but they were like, there was a one we wanted to work with, and they're like, oh yeah, we'll pretty much take your money. And like, we tried to coordinate events leading up and everything, and just they wouldn't show up. They gave us no support, no publicity or anything. And I started becoming friends with one of the women that was on the board, and you know, so we were in communication, and I was just like, well, why aren't your people showing up? Blah, blah, blah. She ends up showing up to the event. We give her money and everything. And that was like, thanks, see you later. And I never talked to her again. And then I get a call from their organization, and they were, you know, very apologetic and just kind of being like, well, you know, we didn't really quite understand what the event was like.
Yeah. And I could see that. They're like,
it's a bunch of like bearded guys with tattoos who are getting drunk. Like, why do we want to be? But that's what they see it from as the outside. They didn't understand that it's, there's guys with beards and tattoos that are drinking. Like, but this is how
we're doing good stuff too. We don't all just look scary like Christopher Wilson. Some of us are actually really nice. What's up, Christopher Wilson?
Oh, hey, thank you for that. He's talking about you two. He called somebody handsome, and I know it wasn't me. But what's going on, Adam Smalley?
We got lots of good mustaches here.
Yeah, but I'll tell you, don't be afraid to ask the charity to get involved. You know, because that's what it's all about. That's what a beard competition is all about. Charity.
It definitely is now. It definitely is now. We've talked about that before. 10 years ago, it wasn't.
No,
it wasn't. The main focus. It was kind of.
It was all about trophy chasing.
Yeah, not anymore.
This day and age, trophy chasing is done. So,
unless your name is Kyle Waller,
and I'm not even chasing trophies. I'm just trying to help people.
Janice Abraham
know that they matter no matter what. So,
well, that was fun. We had some very insightful conversations tonight. This was a great idea, Scott Sikora.
It was.
This is just a good idea. Maybe we should just start doing a second show a week where we just bring one news story each and we just talk about it.
You know, we could do this. We could do.
I mean, you could do a whole freaking show, and I mean, because I believe you guys did one a couple years ago, back when you first got started, about the whole how to throw a beard competition. You know, I believe, right? Or am I not?
I think so. Right. I think we've had several.
I believe you have. Yeah, hugging necks and writing checks. Just make sure when you write the check that whoever you want it to go to gets it. Yes.
Yeah, I think we've all kind of evolved, Jeff Harris. It's kind of a crazy thing. Like, it's still cool to win big events and whatnot, but like I don't even really care about competing anymore, and that's super weird because that's literally the reason I got into this. I didn't know, but now it's just just want to help the event.
For,
I just want it to be
for me. I don't think I'll ever really truly join another beard club because I like doing what I'm doing without being a part of a beard club because I can be a part of it all. I can be part of Talking Beards Club. I can be part of the Bearded Villains or whoever I want to be part of without putting that name on my back. I can support whoever I want to, and I like it. I like being able to do that without having the stigma. Oh well, he's a part of Beard Mob or Mad Viking or Bearded Villains.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that's really as much as the thing anymore. But
no, not anymore. Yeah.
Not anymore. But I mean, I've still within the last year been to beard competitions that were still the party atmosphere, and they were booing other clubs as they came up on stage and stuff. So that
not cool.
That mindset's still out there somewhere, but
So there you go, Dylan. That leads me to Dylan. Dylan, if you want to do good shit in the community, just be a part of it.
And this is it right now.
You don't have to be a part of a specific thing. Yeah, hug necks and write checks.
That is the motto of the beard community these days.
It's like snapping necks and pinching tails.
That's it. Same thing.
Did I say it right? Finally,
basically. And then this, Scott. This is kind of breaking news.
Andrew Matson.
Hold on.
Cool.
The Andrew Matson Honest Amish presents the 2024 Great American Beard and Mustache Championship is donating to 2 local charities. So thank you, Andrew and Honest Amish for being involved with sponsoring that event. The co-headlining sponsors, Andrew Matson and Honest Amish.
Isn't it supposed to be Andrew Matson's Honest Amish presents the 20? Like,
maybe that's it. I bet Andrew bought Honest Amish over the weekend. That rascal.
I feel like that's great. Just
he's now your boss.
Throw all those questions.
Oh, breaking news. You're welcome. I'm not coming into work tomorrow, Andrew.
By the way, Scott Score, breaking news. Top of the 9th. Cincinnati's up 9-7. You're welcome.
Ooh.
Game's not over.
Game's not over yet.
That's true. But hey, this podcast is. It's almost 2 minutes still.
I think it's done. So when are we going to see you again, Kyle Waller? When are all 3 of us going to be together in the same room?
I believe that would be January the 20th. You Matter. Yeah, You Matter 3.
Beard and mustache competition. Yeah. My God.
That would be when we'll all 3 be in the same room. So if you want to hug all 3 of our necks and you want to write checks, come down to LaGrange, Texas, and be at You Matter Beard and Mustache competition.
That's it. What were you going to say, Scott Score? I saw your hand.
Oh, I had nothing really. Just I wanted to thank everyone for tuning in tonight.
And I also want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight. Tonight was a cool episode. We just kind of winged it, and I think it went really well. It goes better when you wing it with friends than by yourself.
Yeah, that's true. And I like talking about news stories, but I also like, I mean, even though each of our stories that we brought, like, granted, mine didn't have anything to do with beards, but as we kind of started talking about it more, it actually does have a lot to do with beards because, when you're renting a venue out, and if it was a Live Nation venue that you were by some chance, they might have taken a 10% or whatever cut of any of the merchandise you sold at these events. So this was something that could affect a lot of us,
Absolutely. And we didn't even really think about it. And we got talking about it and broke it down. I'm like, this does have something to do with us.
And again, if you want to see more of this, tune in Friday night. Yes. Friday night on the Talking Beards Network and the S.H.A.P.E, the podcast. Aaron Johnson's going to be my guest.
If you want to know what shoes I wore to 6th grade graduation, tune in Friday.
And he's going to be doing it from his house. He will actually be home this weekend. Imagine that. Next weekend he won't be. He'll be over in the Great England.
I will be
this week. Yeah, but this weekend he'll be home. So yeah, join us Friday night for S.H.A.P.E, the podcast. And thank you, Brian Coyne.
Yeah,
he sent me a message and said, "Hey, you should promote who's going to be on your show." So thank you to Brian Coyne. He's a long-time listener on both podcasts. So thank you.
Well, thank you, Kyle Waller, for stopping by. And everybody,
thank you guys.
Watch the S.H.A.P.E podcast Friday, and I'll be on there. And in a couple weeks, Scott will be on there interviewing Kyle. And in a few weeks, Kyle's wife will be on there interviewing some lady about something. It'll be amazing. Check out the S.H.A.P.E podcast. Thank you, Kyle.
Check it out.